Align your body, align your life. Introduction. Let me clear my throat. Those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it. George Santayana, The Life of Reason, 1905. Being human gives each person legitimacy and automatically marks the inherent worth of us all. There's nothing to prove. We are just valuable for existing. Feeling worthy depends on perspective and circumstance, but being worthy, that's a birthright. From the moment babies are born, and regardless of how imperfect their human form may be, all are perfectly lovable as they are. For many like myself, the human journey quickly goes downhill from there. Somehow we never forget that state of immaculate purity we were once in, and some want to return to that place of unconditional, accepting love. Returning to that level of wellness is a journey riddled with paradoxes. Wellness actually lives only in the present moment. The future unfolds from it, while the past creates a collection of memories and their associated beliefs. The most profound, contradictory, and complementary phenomena is that how the journey to wholeness is a solitary adventure one cannot do alone. Learning from the past and what made us who we are is the only way to move forward in the freedom from it. Without reflection, our history holds us captive. Ignoring it keeps us chained to past patterns and from true health, since few of us learned how to be healthy and well in our upbringing. The sum of our body, mind, and emotions determines our health. Where we struggle is in the blind spots. Where we deny our struggle is where we have dis-ease. Breaking up this word for effect, as illness is the lack of effortless functioning, the absence of ease. Curiosity is the path of the antidote to disease, taking on brave discovery to the root cause of sickness instead of glossing over the symptoms with medication. Treating an ailment is simple, not easy, given that appropriate treatment is the focus, not just covering it up or numbing it. To cure an illness, first we have to reveal the sources. There is no empowerment with numbing the messages our bodies send. Pharmaceutical businesses have no interest in that. They make money by managing symptoms, not curing diseases. That's why it's so hard to get many doctors to investigate and uncover the root cause. Rather than truly restore health, they're encouraged to write prescriptions. As a result, the cure is never found or realized, ending in the long-term management of symptoms until death or until the patient discovers a path to become well. Unwell folks cycle the same malady while increasing prescription drugs, causing new symptoms that require additional medications. This is the means to their end unless they come to believe there is another way beyond the widely accepted one of traditional medicine. Victimhood and feeling defeated is an illness and all too common nowadays. People wear their complaints as badges of honor and proud barriers to wellness. Their limiting beliefs keep them unwell, and they can't imagine life without their problems. Like those who learn victim mentality as part of their initiation to life, disempowerment was my first disease that led to all the others. That orientation took me to the land of confusion and banished me there until I came to the honesty to acknowledge it, which took years to sort out. All the other illnesses I suffered were rooted in my disempowerment, and I describe how they are related throughout this book. In the paradox of surrender, I discovered the way to win. This is a book of wellness, how I became well after a lifetime of being emotionally, physically, and mentally off. Here, I share my life's healing story as an example of what restoring the birthright of healthfulness looks and feels like. My story is a guide of sorts, an offering to how you can find your own unique way to your own health restoration. My story is anyone's story. It's both individual and collective story. Being human ain't no walk in the park. Anyone who depicts it differently is a liar or self-deceived. Without real suffering, there can be no real joy. My first sickness was that of powerlessness. I had intermittent confidence, depending on how intimidated I was by others in the room. Boundaries were not taught, they were only disregarded, which caused me many relating problems. As a result, codependency became my first coping mechanism in adapting to dysfunctional family dynamics. Before I was 10, panic, guilt, shame, and resentment were everyday emotions running unbeknownst to me. No one, especially myself, recognized them. Accepting the defeat of neglect creates a default of minimization of self. And so it went. Dysfunction begets more dysfunction, and socially acceptable addictions beget more socially acceptable addictions. Avoidance and numbing out became my go tos for dealing with what was too much for me to handle. Self pity and sweets were the first methods to use to heal with my frustrating and less than ideal circumstances. The second disease, a symptom of the first, was self neglect, a natural outcome of my childhood neglect. After many failed attempts to get my needs met, the disappointment and shame that went along with it wore me out. It was futile to keep trying, so I learned to back off and geographically go all over. I learned how to minimize and bypass my needs and preferences despite myself. There were many far reaching consequences, which are shared in this book's first section. The ultimate outcome, though, was the path of restoring what was lost, my innate value, unlearning self neglect by listening within. Although my path is different, I'm not alone in the experience of self neglect. Based on my observations and interactions with others, I'd say I share the company of a good portion of the human population. To sum it up, consistently experiencing invalidation and minimization in childhood, we internalize the reactions of others in these ways. We were ignored, we ignored ourselves. We were invalidated, we invalidated ourselves. We were criticized, we criticized ourselves. And just like that, we became small. Subordinate codependency is born from the socially accepted and familiar dynamic of internalizing the emotional marginalization received from those closest to us. Self-neglect gets old and outdated. We start to look for a way out and begin to care more for our health and wellness. We can connect the unhealthy ways of relating to our personal dysfunction in health and the health of the culture overall. An emotional intelligence revolution dawning extends to business culture and society at large, welcoming the absolute accountability of health and whole wellness. This next renaissance is one of awareness, stopping the train of busyness, emotional neglect, and all the convenient distractions that wreck our well-being. Think of the upcoming chapters as hacks for getting your shit together and aligning with the life that feels good to you. Remember, there is no birth without labor. There is no success without some kind of pain or discomfort. There will be no woo-woo, overly optimistic spiritual bantering here. There will be anecdotes, observations, and strategies to increase confidence and contentment in your life. There is an alignment process to empowerment via self-preservation to cure disempowerment and self-neglect. Alignment happens as a natural outcome of migrating from powerlessness to preservation. It begins with a decision to care, claiming self as a priority. It is accomplished by leaning into non-judgmental awareness and moving away from numbing out, ruminating, and worshiping distractions. What is alignment? It is like refinement, but it has an element of balance. To be aligned is to be harmonized. The science of ergonomics is for our physical alignment, and the environment is shaped to support our healthy alignment to maximize efficiency. I use ergonomics as a tool for inner alignment in the corporate world instead of selling office furniture. The awareness that ergonomics brings to a person can be used as a gateway to a better understanding of the body's inner workings. My work in the corporate environment came from the direct experience of working on having better posture and body mechanics and less chronic muscular pain. More on that later. I used my story as an example of what inner alignment looks and feels like. Getting one's body in line and in balance is akin to any masterpiece. First the dream, then the draft, then the details. It's a labor of love. Love is action, often including friction. Heat and pressure make diamonds. They also make strong, valuable people. Alignment matters because we desire it, because we sense it to be important in our existence. Getting into alignment is a pursuit of self-care, not self-indulgence. It's not luxurious or extraneous. Taking leadership of our own lives is a choice, as painful as it is at first to disappoint others by not doing what they want with our lives. Alignment is claiming our sovereignty and our integrity while owning the trajectory of our lives. In aligning to our values and priorities, our awareness depends on the things and people we care about. What is it we want? What are our personal preferences? Values get obscured when we are immersed in our convenient, addictive escape mechanisms, numbing and perpetuating our habituated negligence. If one wants to escape from any form of pain, there are plenty of options. Our maladaptive and addictive coping mechanisms block our alignment. I've tried hard to bypass this myself. It's futile. Our means of distraction and avoidance can be insidiously deceptive, sidestepping the blocks, preventing us from true and sustainable alignment cannot work. Alignment to our own joyous, authentic life cannot materialize without addressing and eliminating our blockages to embodiment, i.e., maladaptive coping mechanisms. Yes, there will always be aversions because we're human. We will just handle them differently as we progress towards achieving alignment. What blocks embodiment? Avoidance. It comes in many forms, and it is the great barricade. It is not only found in extreme hard drugs, but subtle and frequently abused everyday vices, often viewed as harmless. Some of the most popular examples sabotage our sovereignty and internal power. Caffeine, nicotine, alcohol, social media, overeating, overspending, overscreening, oversexing, and staying high all the livelong day with cannabis. Underneath all that distraction and avoidance lie our true feelings and opinions about how life is and how it's managed. Instead of navigating a world of have-tos and shoulds, which represent misalignment, there lies a world of freedom and acceptance. Imagine always showing up exactly as you are, knowing you are accepted by yourself first and foremost, and then by those you love. Being free to feel your feelings in every given moment of all your days forevermore. I bet you're wondering if that's even possible. There's no need to have a complete overhaul of any kind, but to accept your life as it is, only feeling healthy, balanced, and at peace with all of its dimensions. Imagine living your life as you prefer instead of becoming the person others expect you to be. Tapping into the body makes it so. The alignment method I created was originally designed for people who are disconnected from their bodies, hate to exercise like I did, and are longing to actually enjoy physical activity instead of a form of punishment. The intuitive movement integration IMI experience is multifaceted and has far-reaching benefits. It's a strategy for physical health, but also for stress reduction, personal embodiment, and inner empowerment. It also proves to be a useful team builder in organizations as an emotional intelligence development tool and an effective way to enhance nonverbal communication, confidence, and leadership skills. The lighthearted, enjoyable group dynamic builds trust, healthy boundaries, and psychological safety within a team construct. As practiced, IMI is the physical shortcut to grasp most of the points made in this book somatically. Confidence and body acceptance are learned and reinforced through posture awareness and improvement. It relieves social anxiety immeasurably by cultivating emotional awareness among a group with playfulness. IMI was designed and intended for low energy people, but the method's useful for anyone. People get out of it exactly what they need. That's the magic of it. The IMI method taught me how emotional awareness and internal focus are at the epicenter of our innate power. It is the practice of self-prioritization as you as the most important person to yourself, so that everyone else gets what they need from you, always in that order. You were conditioned to care for others' emotions while ignoring your own. Maybe you're in the habit of negating your feelings and pacifying your preferences so that you don't cause a fuss. Does having needs make you feel like being you is a bother and to be avoided at all cost? With practice, it doesn't have to be anymore. Designing a new pattern, acknowledging and responsibly communicating your feelings and preferences is anything but selfish. It's self-preservation. It's your life and your focus. There's no need, no guilt, no shame, and no fear. Imagine that. I believe it can be done because I've done it. Now I share it so that it may spark the belief that mental, emotional, and physical wellness is possible for you. There will be a little talk about codependent narcissistic phenomenon because there's no solution to that. There will be little talk about the codependent narcissistic phenomenon because there's no solution to that. Codependency will be discussed, but in the context of ownership. There is no narcissist to blame once we recognize our own victim role. We all play our part in the drama of unhealthy relationships. The core of this book is designed to assist in upgrading old, unhealthy beliefs and behaviors for fresh new ones that benefit our whole being. Using my own personal details and insights as examples and sharing some simple practices, I'll demonstrate how to take the focus off others and shine the light on how to train and center our attention on ourselves to extract the lessons contained in life's interactions. Our health and wellness deserve no less. Yes, really. We are deserving of our own prioritization and to benefit from what happened to us back then. In my obsession to reflect on things, education became a habit and expanded my understanding of people, perspective, and history. Psychology and philosophy gave great insight into solving the riddle of my chronically unhappy, unsatisfying life. The context brought understanding, and humility delivered breakthroughs. Without understanding all the parts of the past, the future becomes a replication of it. Everything unevaluated and unaddressed is repeated. By recognizing patterns of thought and action, we open up to another way and a new space to explore. Unlearning and new learning defines our growth away from habits that harm into habits that help. Growth is consciousness in action. Consciousness breaks the chains of living a life on autopilot. Awareness is often synonymous with perception, but it's more than mere perspective. It's a wider angle, a bigger picture. Perception is only one angle, where awareness captures many, although there will be blind spots, which is why we need others' awareness to help us out at times. Undesirable, outdated habits live in the land of limited perception. Liberation from them emerges from an expanded awareness. Like any human, I take liberties that others condemn and judge as wrong. I say things people are too scared to say. I live messily and have failed frequently. In this book, I share authentically and imperfectly. How dare I? I dare speak the truth to the best I know how. What absolute gumption. Who do I think I am? Well, me. And from the real me, I say exactly what I need to say. Rebelliousness is one of my signature traits, dodging convention for its lack of creativity. It got me in tons of trouble as a kid and continues to perplex people who play by the old rules. This book exemplifies the restoration process, revitalizing what was once there, removing what can now be removed, and putting everything where it belongs again. We were born naturally honest, confident, and expressive. We were joyous, loving, full of wonder, and unconditionally loving. Recovering these natural states of being is a reclamation of our innate power instead of continuing the fear of it. We can discover and get past the fear of our own power by allowing the honesty of vulnerable humility, even if we've only experienced poor examples of it in our past. The way we relate to power influences how we relate to our inner experience. We may feel like a different person as we restore the power once removed with the indoctrination of social conformity in lieu of true belonging. When control returns to us, we will never feel more ourselves, a welcome change, our birthright. This state of sovereignty, there is no shame in what was, because it all leads us to exactly where we need to be to reach our goals. This book will demonstrate how it's done. Embodiment means to know our truth and live it. It's a matter of walking the talk. To be transparent, I talked a lot. I wasn't walking in line with my beliefs until my awareness showed me vital blind spots and strongholds that needed revelations to live in the integrity of my own advice. I had to be rejected for my truth initially to learn its impact. For many like myself, before power is disempowerment, before acceptance is rejection. As I have learned, this book was created for empowerment, helping others claim their sovereignty and dignity without compromise. Now is the right time. Better late than never. I encourage you to courageously dive into a better understanding of yourself through my stories, insights, and exercises. This work will resonate with many, trigger most, and piss off a few. Explore whoever you want to be and do whatever you want to do, so long as you're not hurting anyone else in the process. Yes, I promise you will disappoint some as a part of this restoration process. That is inevitable when you're following your inner guidance and becoming the leader of your own life. Sharing all I am aware of to get my message of hope and health conveyed, I hope this is useful and inspiring in your journey towards attaining whole well-being through embodiment and empowerment for you, your team, and humanity. A lofty desire, but hey, a girl can dream, right? Trust the process. Take your time with each chapter. Do not rush the process if you find yourself needing to chew on the ideas and get exercises suggested. If you decide to partake in the challenges at the end of certain chapters, pause your reading until you complete them. Fellow traveler, I wish you pure, unconditional love of the most divine variety all your way.